numbers to think about, and this is for Maryland, for y'all, for those who are staying here, if you plan on living on your own. The national average for all those who have student loan payments, I'll start with this. The national average monthly student loan payment is somewhere between $160 a month and $242 a month. Okay, so on average, if we use 200, that's $2,400 per year that you have to subtract off of that $29,200. Okay, rent in Maryland, which is actually on par with the United States, it's about $1,250 for a 950 square room. I'm gonna tell you now, 950 square feet is not much. Okay, that might be a 1-bedroom. It's not a 2-bedroom with a den with extra room. This is just on average. You know, so you're talking about $1,200 per month. Yearly, that's going to be about $15,000 per year. So you just saw a big chunk of your $29,000 go away just for paying rent or even making a mortgage payment of that same level. You also have other things. Food is going to cost you about $250 a month here. That's about $3,000 a year. A car payment, on average for a 21-year-old, is about $375 to $400 a month. And that's about $4,500 a year. Energy, because you got to pay your utility bills, it's $130 a month. It's another $1,560 a year. Internet service, that's about $600 a month. $600 a year, sorry. I'm sorry. It's about $600 a year, but you need to have internet service. This is something that in the past, it was a luxury. Today, it is not. You need to have internet service at your home. Because obviously with school, for some of you continuing, and for communication purposes, more people have internet service now than have home phones. Because honestly, most people get on with their cell phone and internet service. I don't have a home phone. I used to, but I just didn't see the purpose anymore, so I don't have a home phone. Cell phone service, as we just spoke about, it's about $540 per year. And just think about this, for insurance, for car insurance, a 41-year-old adult averages $150 a month, but if you're 21, it's about it's about $320 a month. So you're looking at more like $3,840 a year. When I totaled those numbers, so you guys don't have to total them. But when I totaled all that together, making $44,900 a month wasn't enough to cover everything, and you still, again, have to clothe yourself. You still want to go out. You still have to fill up your car with gas. You know, there's a lot. So it's like, wow, $44,000 didn't get me that far. And that's the average pay coming out of school. Even if you made $80,000, which turned into $52,000 after taxes, you still had a big chunk of that taken away. So these are things that are important to think about and to understand why it's important to budget and know where your money's going and where it's coming out. But it's also why I said it's important, again, to maybe stay home a little longer than anticipated. Because it would be a different story if I did come out making $44,000, but if I stayed home and for that year I saved $12,000, $13,000, then I came into the situation, my new situation, with $12,000, $13,000 over my $29,000 after taxes. So ultimately, that left me with a lot of extra money, so now I can still enjoy life without being stressed about bills, without having to make decisions on can I go out tonight or can I go out tonight because I don't have enough money. And also, without being dependent on someone else. That's another very important factor about what you all need to do for yourself. You don't want to come out of school and say, I have to depend on someone other than your parents, people who love you right now. But I'm talking about when you leave home and you go into your own world, you don't want to have to depend on someone else. Because you should always be able to depend on yourself first. So that's why it's important. And remember, all of that was said, and remember I said that number, $250,000 to raise a child. None of that was included in any of the bills that I just brought up. So you can see how it can be very expensive and very difficult, even if you think about some of your parents and how much money they were making. It didn't cost them $250,000 to raise you, but it's very difficult to manage all these things unless you really have a good control and good grasp of your finances. And that's also why I wanted to say 80,000 is a good amount. I would never say 80,000 is a bad amount. But 80,000 today doesn't get you as far as it used to. So you have people that today make 80,000, 90,000, and some people are depressed. And I'm gonna say this, they feel that way because they expected to do so much more with their 80 and 90,000. You know, they thought I could get any car that I want, I could get this big house, and then that 80,000 came, and it was like, my family thinks I'm rich, but I'm not. You know, everybody thinks I make a lot of money, but I don't. It sounds good coming out of my mouth saying I make 80,000, but it's not as much as it seems, because that's the times we live in. So that's what we have to be ready for. And none of this is bad news, it's just being prepared. Because honestly, that's the most important thing that you want to remember is being prepared. Because what happens is, when you start off with $45,000 a year, and you're trying to take care of yourself, and you already saw it's really tough and may not be enough, what do you have to do? You got to get a loan. How else do you suffice? You got to get credit card bills. You got to go ahead and use credit to suffice for the money that you have or don't have. So then what does that do? That means that I'm giving away some of my future paycheck, because that's all you're doing. You're saying, I don't have the money today, so I'll give you some of my future paycheck. But the only issue with a future paycheck is a future paycheck is not guaranteed. And it's unfortunate, but you know, I would like to think that, you know, my job is guaranteed, but I know ultimately they could say I could be the best performer in my position. I could do everything I wanted, but they could say you're laid off. And then what am I gonna do? I prepare for that, because it can happen. Then when it happens, I look for another job. I check the stats out to see where people are hiring in my field. I see where people can make money, what puts me in the best position, and I go for it. But all of this is about preparation. I mean, what are you going to school for now? Preparation, right? You're just preparing. When you become an adult, you don't stop preparing. I'm not when you become an adult, you are adults, I'm sorry. I shouldn't say that, I'm serious, I shouldn't say that. When you step out on your own, that's what I'm gonna say. When you step out on your own, it just doesn't stop. Now, let's just say everybody becomes a good budgeter, right? You guys got your finances together, you're paying yourself out of your paycheck, everything's in order, right? Sound like you'll probably be okay, right? You should, well, I'm saying you should be all right, right? But, you know, there's one other major factor that goes into how well you're gonna do or not. What do you think that is?
Everything's falling apart. Like literally, I tried to budget one time and someone said, well, if your car breaks and then like your washer breaks at the same time, then you're getting nowhere, and then you have no way to get there, and then they're like one time I was trying to budget to move out, and my future mother-in-law was like, I was talking about going to the store, and she's like, okay, you know that bucket of pods you want for the washer? That's like $17, and what if you have a load that needs 2 pods? So now you're already under 3 pods, and you just what are you gonna wash? Like that was your budget for that month. You had nothing else to wash, and I'm like, I think I only use 1 pod. Like it was so over the top. Like everything that could have gone wrong, my future mother-in-law could lay that down for you in a very nice, organized way. But it was so bad. Like it was a meltdown.
And it can be, and you know what? That's the reaction that some people have to these situations. You know, it causes those type of meltdowns because you're like, what am I going to do? And oftentimes people don't know about that situation coming until they're already in it. So the best thing to do is prepare, because again, if you have $12,000 sitting in the bank, that situation isn't that bad. If your car breaks down, you go pay for it to get fixed. You know, you don't have to pay for so much. You have it, and your car's gonna break down because that's what cars do. You know, that's part of the cost of ownership. You know, things are gonna happen. Something's gonna break in your home. Believe me, it'll happen. Not intentional. You're gonna need money for it. You might get hurt. Go to the hospital. You have insurance, which is great, but there's still money to be paid after your insurance covers what happens to you. And when you don't have that money, you gotta go get a loan. So the biggest gist of and what you were saying, and I agree with that, you need to be prepared. But there's another fact that I was getting to, and that has to go into who you choose to spend your life with.